How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. What if I told you that 99% of the things you worry about will never actually happen, and that the 1% that do happen are usually not as bad as you imagined? Dale Carnegie proved this with real research, and today I'm going to share the life-changing strategies that have helped millions of people break free from the worry trap that is stealing their happiness and success. Today, we are diving into one of the most powerful books ever written about conquering anxiety and stress. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. Carnegie is not just some theoretical author. This is the same person who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he spent decades studying thousands of people who successfully overcame chronic worry and anxiety. Written in 1948. This book is packed with timeless principles that are even more relevant today in our stressed-out, always connected world. Let me share 4 game-changing strategies that can transform your relationship with worry forever. First strategy is live and date-tight compartments. Carnegie's golden rule is simple. Focus only on today. Not yesterday's mistakes, not tomorrow's uncertainties, just today. He tells the incredible story of Sir William Osler, one of the most famous physicians in history. Osler was struggling as a medical student, overwhelmed by the massive amount of knowledge he needed to learn. Then he read a phrase that changed everything: live in date-tight compartments. Instead of worrying about passing all his exams, he focused only on today's work. This simple shift helped him become one of the most successful doctors of his time. The practical application is when you catch yourself spiraling about future problems. Ask yourself, what can I actually do about this today? If there is nothing you can do right now, let it go and focus on what is in front of you. Second strategy is use the worst-case scenario technique. This might sound counterintuitive, but Carnegie discovered that facing your worst fears head-on actually reduces anxiety. Here is how it works. First, ask yourself, what is the worst that could possibly happen? Then, accept that worst-case scenario mentally. Finally, calmly work on improving from there. Carnegie shares the story of a businessman named Earl P. Haney, who is facing bankruptcy. Instead of endless worrying, Haney applied this technique. He asked, what is the worst that could happen? I would lose my business and have to start over. Once he accepted this possibility, he stopped panicking and started making rational decisions. Ironically, this clear thinking helped him save his business. When you stop running from your fears and face them directly, they lose their power over you. Third principle is get the facts. Carnegie found that 50% of worry disappears when you have all the relevant information. Most worry comes from uncertainty and imagination filling in the blanks with worst-case scenarios. But when you actively gather facts, you often discover that the situation is not nearly as bad as you thought. Carnegie tells about a worried executive who was convinced his company was going to fail. Instead of continuing to worry, he spent a weekend gathering actual data, sales figures, market trends, competitor analysis. What he discovered was that while there were challenges, the company was actually in much better shape than he had imagined. Having real facts replaced his vague fears with concrete action plans. Next time you are worried about something, ask yourself, do I have all the facts, or am I worrying about assumptions? Then go get the real information. Finally, keep busy with constructive action. Carnegie discovered that an idle mind is worry's playground, but a mind focused on meaningful action has no room for anxiety. He shares the story of a woman named Mrs. Shearer who was consumed with worry after her husband's death. A wise friend gave her advice: keep so busy helping others that you do not have time to worry about yourself. Mrs. Shearer started volunteering at a local hospital, helping other patients and families. Not only did her worry disappear, but she found new purpose and joy in life. The key is constructive action, not just any busy work, but activities that move you forward or help others. When your mind is engaged in meaningful work, worry simply does not have space to grow. So there you have it. Dale Carnegie asked for powerful strategies to stop worrying and start living. Live in day-tight compartments by focusing only on today. Face your worst-case scenarios to remove their power. Get the facts to replace imagination with reality. And keep busy with meaningful, constructive action. Remember, worry is just a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken with the right techniques and consistent practice. These strategies have worked for millions of people over the past 75 years. And they will work for you too if you apply them consistently. Thank you for your attention, and I encourage you to pick up this life-changing book and start implementing these principles in your daily life. Your future worry-free self will thank you for taking action today. Every great book gives us a mirror to reflect on our own lives. Think about how today's summary connects to your goals and challenges. If you want more guides on personal growth, leadership, and time mastery, subscribe and join me next time.